last month I gained 1000 MMR, and I want to show you how I did it. So here it is. Here is the proof. The 33 matches played this last month across rank. As you can see, this is 33 matches played in ranked, and I've been playing for a month straight. But if I check any lobby, you can see I've got actually 180 games played in a month with actually a 48% win rate. And in this, we can see two of the first big reasons why I've been climbing, in my opinion. And that is, A, I've been using unranked to practice heroes and mastery over the roles. So as you can see in these unranked games that, again, I have 180 games played. It's 180 matches because this is combining my ranked matches with my unranked matches. That is allowing me to practice a variety of heroes. You see I picked up Lena. I decided to play her. And these are normal games, but at the, divine skill level, all of these games in my unranked, I guess this is a Legend 5 game that I played in a party. I've been playing some party games as well that have been skewing the metrics, but there's so many smurfs and unranked that if you just play unranked Dota, there's a pretty good chance that you're getting a quality experience. People really try hard in unranked. Playing unranked Dota, unironically, is a good way to climb at your bracket, I almost promise you. Or what I should say is, playing unranked is a good way to prepare yourself for playing ranked and climbing in ranked Dota 2. It simply allows you to experience a slightly more competitive angle sometimes, because if you especially solo queue in unranked, you will often find that you will be paired with stacks, and that will create a dynamic where you will probably feel even more like solo queue than when you're actually playing solo queue, because what's going to happen is you're going to be the solo player when you're playing with like a 4 stack or 2 stacks or even a 3 stack and one other random player. You will really truly feel like you are not necessarily being played around. The games will feel in some ways more authentic because you will have a coordinated stack playing on your team that you will have to blend in with, and it'll kind of all be about like how well can you slot in to some other random coordinated group. It actually feels like a more competitive but more exclusive experience that you have to like opt into. The games can be more miserable if you're not looking for that kind of experience, but it's a really hardcore experience, and I genuinely recommend unranked as a way of getting yourself into the flow state and especially practicing new heroes and new roles in Dota 2. Ideally, it also teaches you how to just be a kind person, because as a single person trying to blend in with a stack, you will often become the scapegoat. And so finding a way to make 4 other people not hate you when they are primed to hate you is absolutely a skill that is essential to solo queue Dota. So it'll teach you how to be better about your mental and your overall mind state as well. Second reason I think I climbed is because I started queuing with a game plan. And more specifically, I was very selective about when I queued. So at the very beginning of the patch, I was playing I was playing Brood off lane. I was not very dead set on a hero yet or a hero pool, and I was generally just kind of winging it every game, thinking that I could do the things that I used to do back when I played Dota more seriously, like years ago, without really adapting my playstyle to the patch. Basically what this means is, I was playing Brood off lane with no real regard for the meta or how good Brood off lane in particular was this patch at the very beginning of it, or even just how it shaped up. I was just on autopilot every game. I wasn't really thinking too critically, and I really think that I adapted a conscious mindset over the last month, especially solo queuing. So you can see this on my Dota buff, where the first, say 8 or 9 games of my rank journey were basically all losses. I think I won 1 game. And then I went on a massive win streak of 10 games, and a good chunk of those were double downs. Just feeling extremely confident in every single game, basically blitzing through all of them with incredible scores, and playing in a way where I felt super confident from the very beginning about my play, such that, I did literally double down in every single one of them. Which admittedly, I guess that's point number 3.5 is I did use a fair number of double downs, and a fair number of them did go in my favor on this little climb journey that I've gone on. I think I've probably double downed on 70 to 80% of my games, and I've probably only lost 10 to 15% of them at most, if that. I've gotten, I don't want to say lucky. And yeah, the stats don't lie. This was the win that I started double downing on, and this win up, I had a 68% win rate throughout all of it, going in total 17 and 8. So I don't feel like it was luck. But yeah, what do I mean when I say selectively queuing? What I mean directly, as a 100% for sure, this is a tool I used to gain MMR, but it is going to result in your MMR coming in slightly slower. is I just don't let myself go more than 2 losses without just taking a slight break. So, and that break can just be a break from ranked and escaping into unranked, by the way. You don't necessarily need to stop playing Dota. That's the main thing that I think you should take away from this, is that I was still playing quite a lot of Dota, and you will need to play quite a lot of Dota if you want to gain a lot of MMR. You're going to need to be playing a lot. You're going to be needing to stay wired in to the meta, to your ability to play at the highest level, to play competitively. You know, you're doing a skill, you need to perform it every day. But then also on top of that, you don't necessarily always need to be throwing yourself at ranked. There are specific times when your brain is way more wired to be playing at its peak. When you're playing at your peak, you want to go into ranked with those games, basically. That's what I mean by selectively queuing. So building up momentum in unranked, winning a bunch of games in unranked, and then saying, okay, we can take this to unranked. So we start off the session today, 6:22. This is a great example. This isn't today, obviously, but like I started the session bright and early at 9 p.m. because I was up at 4 a.m. the day prior playing. So I start playing at 9 p.m., win an unranked game. That's my first game of the day. Unranked, rusty, probably made a lot of mistakes, didn't feel good about the game, so I played another game, lost. So I played another game, won. So I played another game, won. So I played another game, lost. So I played another game, lost. Look at 2:10 a.m. I took a big break in here between these 2 losses. Came back, played another game, lost it on gyro carry. Felt bad about losing 2 games gyro carry in a row. And then I said to myself, okay, let's go play one more game on my preferred role. If I win it, let's go play ranked after that. Played a game, played this Underlord game, unranked. Did I play well? Hey, probably felt pretty good about the game. At 10 minutes, I had 5,000 net worth. Yeah, felt pretty good at that game. Now, 7 games or so into my play journey, if we go back to that day real quick. So yeah, we go to this day where I played how many games before I actually started playing ranked in that session? So 9 p.m. when I started, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games before I finally hopped into ranked and went on a 3-game win streak. And then closed it off for the night at 5:14 a.m. Not great hours. These are demon hours. I'm a demon. I was a demon these last 2 months, but that's what it takes to climb. And the important thing is, again, building up momentum, building up that headspace in your brain where you can allow yourself to get into the flow state. You got to allow yourself to get into the flow state, man. This is a skill, and a skill requires mastery. And that mastery comes in peak intervals in your brain when everything's clicking and everything just makes sense to you. Okay, you need to attack Dota at those hours. Play ranked then. That's when you're strongest. But yeah, anyways, reason 3, because we skipped reason 3 to go to reason 3.5. Reason 3 why I was climbing was because I had a small hero pool that I picked selectively, meaning I was actually cognizant of what hero picks were appropriate for what game, and I was actively picking and counter-picking my hero to synergize with other heroes in the game, be them my teammates or my opponents. And I stuck to a general game plan that I had pre-established in the picking stage for not only my hero pick, but also my items and my general game plan throughout the game. And I stuck to it. I didn't deviate from the formula. I had that plan that I was trying to fixate on, that I did have minor contingencies and adjustments that I might have to have made as a certain, say for instance, like hero gets fed and an item needs to be purchased quicker than it might have needed to be previously, but that it was always in my mind as an item that I could potentially get for that hero if they ever became a problem anyways, and it's just about, hey, now I need to get that item quicker. But that I'm going into a game thinking to myself, yes, the hero that I picked directly counters their supports, or at least one of their supports in a major way, and also that hero is flexible enough that they can build items to deal with the other hero that I saw in the picking stage, and that they can generally exist well in a game of Dota 2 with a game plan with my heroes that I have on my team. So if we lacked a lot of disable, I might go for Underlord or some hero that does have catch and a global catch at that. If we lacked a lot of dispels or like solid lockdown and initiation of a team fight, I'd be going for Brew. And in a similar vein, and as a niche counterpick to certain heroes like Clockwork, I would pick heroes like Lycan and Beastmaster to, provide initiation, a very strong lane hero in both of those heroes in different ways. And also like a Zoo hero that can build Zoo-based items and deal with Clockwork in a specific way. He was powerful at the start of this patch. by killing his cogs super quickly with the summoned units. And you can especially see my picking process, my picking mentality coming into play in a game like this, where this might be the perfect Veno game ever crafted. I had to first pick Pudge support, and I know that Veno pairs very well in lane with Pudge. You basically play with him all game. The kills are completely free. He hooks, and then you Q, or you Q to set up his hook. It's just incredible. Like this combo of heroes, Veno Pudge, plays very well together all throughout the game. You're a monster in lane. If anybody even so much as steps remotely out of position, you dominate. But then also to add on to that, so that's me synergizing with my ally. That's not just the benefits of picking Veno here, right? We also saw the Earthshaker and the Rubik. Rubik doesn't really ever get to steal any useful spells from Veno if I especially take his ward, his Plague Carrier facet, which I did this game. I can always have Plague wards available as a last spell to cast so that Rubik never gets anything useful from me. Earthshaker I saw as a pick as well. That is a hero that I can of course deny the ability to blink with my E. I can also build a pipe as an offlane Veno. Basically offlane Veno was a great pick here because it synergized with my team, and then it also was not directly answered, and in many ways counters heroes on their team, or at least has non-negative interactions with heroes on their team. And then it has a very good matchup into Void Carry. Veno is a hard counter to Void Carry in lane because of the damage that you do being all over time focused. It's very hard to shrug off your damage with Time Walk on Void. You can see that borne out in the game. Look at this game, where at 10 minutes, the 10-minute snapshot of this game, I have 5,500. I have 5.5k net worth, and then Void has he's a dinky little game. He's 2.5k net worth. I have 3,000 gold on top of this guy because we dumpstered him in lane just repeatedly. Just making sure my picks match my play and picking to dominate the lane and set myself up for strong games. Let's see that borne out in another game here if I can. This game, I remember this game really well. I picked Lycan against Disruptor Pudge. Pudge is a low armor hero that only has a damage block ability. It's actually quite weak against high damage heroes and units. So if you check his E, it only blocks for 26 damage. So if I pick a zoo hero like Lycan, I can run down both of their supports on their team without ever having to commit my hero in this game. If I could go back to it, I'm so sorry about this. Yeah, this game, I saw Pudge and Disruptor. Disruptor, very low armor hero, very low health hero. You can always run Disruptor down. Lycan has a lot of slots in his inventory because he rushes big items like Helm of the Overlord, so Dust is no problem. You can hold Dust all game. You don't even buy boots. So I can always run down a Disruptor at max move speed in a team fight, and starting a fight off with a support kill is always like an advantageous thing. If you're offlaner, if anybody on your team can go snipe a support at the very beginning of a fight, especially before they get any of their cooldowns off, which Lycan very easily can. He finds very strong approach angles from fights, runs in at hasted move speed, and just insta-bursts down supports like Pudge and Disruptor. I knew it was going to be a good pick for that in team fights. And then they ended up picking up Clockwork. I think they ran this as a core, so I didn't actually lane against it, but Clockwork is never fun against Summons heroes because Summons heroes destroy the cogs super quickly and block things like Hookshot. So that's another reason why Lycan was strong in this game. Very difficult for a Meepo to blink initiate on a Lycan that has his ulti popped, even when he has his Hex, because you're moving at max move speed and you can't be slowed. So his nets are very difficult to land as a skill shot. That was just like a coincidental, like, hey, nice, it's going to be difficult for Meepo to catch me and get on top of me. But then again, mostly it was just like I saw these two supports. I knew I could run them down the entire game if I threw a Lycan. I just knew if I could slot a Lycan in here, this game would be good. So yeah, anyways, that's reason 3. I had a small hero pool and my picks matched my play. I was picking with a purpose, that I had a reason to pick a hero for every single game, and that I was picking different heroes for the game based on the conditions of the game that I knew going into it. The last reason 4, why I think I climbed so much MMR over the last 2 months is, and it's no secret, I've said this in other videos, but I use Dota 2 Pro Tracker religiously. I check this website every single day that I plan to play Dota. I'm always trying to stay tapped in to the meta at the highest level. Fact of the matter is simple. If a professional is making it work against the best players in the world on a certain hero, there's no reason why I can't make it work in my crap tier pubs. And I believe that's the same for you. I actually think it'd be quite helpful to you if I showed you how exactly it is that I engage with this website to gain MMR, or at least improve my play. So the first thing and the foremost thing that I'm sure everybody's doing is, you can search a hero. You can also search players to look them up. But like, say I wanted to learn Darkseer, I would search Darkseer, click on the hero. I would make sure that if I was trying to learn him offlane, that I would select offlane, but usually their most played role is selected for you. You scroll down, you can see this is just going to be pro players that are like known pro players that are tracked by this site, that have games on the hero that are recorded publicly. And I think every single one of their games is recorded publicly, whether or not they have exposed public match data. As basically, if we know their account, we're going to get their games on here, whether they like it or not. That's what's so cool about this website, is it stocks them for us, so we don't have to. Now, I actually don't really like learn too much from just watching pro replays. Pro replays are nice, but pros generally have they play such a wide net of heroes that they're not super specialists on everything that they play. They're usually like specialists, like everybody is, on 2 to 3 heroes, and they're playing their pubs to interact with more heroes so that they can be more well-rounded for their tournament games. But when I really want to learn a hero, I want to learn from the specialists. I want to learn from that dude that's in 10K or maybe even 9K. So maybe he's not 13K Arteezy God or 13K Saberlight, whatever. But I can't believe I just said Arteezy and Saberlight. They have beef. Okay, anyways, maybe I'm not picking, 13K God Gamer when I click this button to deselect only pros, and then I end up looking at some dude who doesn't have a check mark. But Mr. Becco might have like 1,000 games on Darkseer, might be a Darkseer aficionado. And so even though his MMR is only 10K, winky little 10K, it's still 8K plus MMR. These guys are gods at the game. Even though he's not a known player, I still want to know, and I prefer to look at the players that just have a crap ton of games on the hero. And especially if they're no name, I'm very interested, because then I can find like unique things that they're doing that the pros aren't, that may or may not be better. You never really know. But the main thing is I'm looking for the guy that plays the hero way more than just once every, like, say, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 games in their preferred role, right? I'm looking for that guy that specializes in the hero. And that's how I engage with this website firstly and foremostly, is I just search the hero that I'm interested in, click off this button, make sure that the role is selected that I'm interested in, and then search for the hero that way. Look through builds. I copy replays. You can search by impact. So if you're looking for a particularly good game, particularly performant game, where the person supposedly, I mean, it's according to Strats, and Strats has their own metrics for impact. But either way, you can search by impact. You can see games, try to search games where like their net worth at 10 minutes was extremely high, their net worth at 20 minutes followed pace, and then generally speaking, the person played well. And what's really interesting, in my opinion, to do with searching for these games is to search the games where they did well and their team did poorly. And this can be a little bit difficult, but if you search by impact and check games out where, for instance, they lost. So like here's a game where Cuckoo played, his score looks pretty amazing, or pretty good at least, 10, 6, and 30, but he ended up losing the game. I will often check these games out. Like, how did he throw a 5K net worth lead? I'm really interested in seeing how that happened. He was 11K net worth at 20 minutes. That's a pretty darn good game. Like, he was having a good game, really good game on Darkseer. I'm really interested to see how did he lose this game. I think I could learn something or parse things together that way. He took there's a big debate right now in the dark. Getting into Dota. If you haven't been following the pro meta, let me tell you, it's interesting. You start getting into these internal debates. Man, Darkseer's been at 55% win rate for a very long time. You check every single day, still played the most offlaner, 56% win rate. His win rate keeps going up and up and up. What's crazy is both facets seem pretty contested, and you never really know. Is Quick Wit better than Heart of Battle? Seems like it's game dependent. Seeing that interaction of like, this person took this facet this game, I wonder why. Look at the picks, seeing how they use it in the game, actually going into the replay by clicking this button, and then clicking your Dota in-game client, clicking watch, clicking replays, hit Control V, boom, I just pulled up a pro replay, I hit the download button, boom. In less than a minute, I can be loaded into a professional game where everybody can be guaranteed to be above 7K MMR at least. I'm watching an MMR caliber of players on the Europe West server, where Dota is generally considered to be more, I guess you'd say, like cohesive, more competitive experience. I can load into that thing in seconds, and I get all of that information at light speed, all thanks to this website. You should absolutely be using Dota 2 Pro Tracker if you're trying to be competitive in Dota. If you're not trying to be competitive in Dota, then completely ignore this website, because this will it'll ruin your enjoyment for the game. It's kind of like a cookie cutter guide for every single hero, how to play them and be almost as effective as the pros, at least in respect to you can watch their gameplay, you can copy their builds, you can copy their exact facet skill build decisions as well. You can copy their entire map movements and watch their replays. You can emulate their play exactly, and there's no reason why all of us aren't AK as far as I'm concerned with websites like this out there. Like I said, if you're trying to enjoy Dota, you might want to ignore this website, because if you're trying to be competitive in Dota and you're not using this, it's kind of a joke. Like, what are you doing with your time? You're not using this? Bro, you're getting behind. Like, everybody's using this. Anyways.